Hello, I am Rajendra Shinde, Associate Professor from Art Science and Commerce College, Uzarmi. You have studied the varieties of English as well as the difference between British English and American English. How American English and British English they differ in spelling, vocabulary, structures of the sentence, means syntax and pronunciation we have studied. Now we are going to study Indian English. English came to India with the East India Company's arrival in the early 1600. Formal teaching learning of English started in India during 17th century. The initiation means beginning of English teaching in India created English speaking bilinguals. The British ruler in India wanted to create a class who would help the British rule the country of people. Now, according to Macaulay, the British people or rulers created English speaking Indian people. How were they? I quote Indian in blood and color, but English in taste and opinion, morals and intellect. I unquote. Now, this quotation from Indian in blood and color, but English in taste and opinion, morals, and intellect. This is the quotation by Macaulay. Now, here, East India Company from Britain or England came to India in 1600. They arrived in 1600 for doing the trade or business, but they became the ruler. And formal teaching learning of English started in India in 17th century. The beginning of English teaching in India created English speaking bilinguals. Bilinguals means bi means two, linguals means languages. Now they created the class, Indian class, who can learn, who can know two languages, English as well as their mother tongue or Hindi or their regional language, state language. Means here bilingual speakers were created by British ruler. The British rule means British rulers. They ruled India for 150 years. And they created English speaking class in order to help them, means the British rule in the country, means they will help, Indian people will help them to uh, run the government of British people in India. They were blood and color in Indian, means they were Indian origin. Blood and color means they were originally Indian, but their taste, opinion, their morals, intellect was English, according to Macaulay. And they thus helped bilingual speakers in India, helped uh, the British people to rule India. As the nationalist movement gained strength in India and culminated in the Indian independence, the rejection of English and a re-establishment of Indian languages in the public realm also gained favor. Now, when Mahatma Gandhi and other freedom fighters, they here started a movement, nationalist movement against British rulers or British people to quit India or to get India freedom or Indian independence. They tried, they struggled to get independence to India or freedom, and then even they boycotted British clothes and various types of things. And here the rejection of English also started there with the movement of freedom of India. Then re-establishment of Indian languages in public realm in people took place. But over the last few decades, English has become the language of power worldwide. Post independence, perceptions of English have changed in India. It is now seen as the language of social mobility. social mobility in India. As well as it became the global language, and indeed global dominance of English there took place. Means last few decade means one decade means 10 years period, and few decades means several uh, years, you can say. English has become the language of our world. One means it has become now the world language or global language. Post independence perception started in this way. Change the scenario in India. Means English got the freedom. Though got freedom, here the importance of English did not become less. Means people uh, accepted English, not discarded English as a language of slavery, but it became the need, global need to know English nowadays. That's why it has become now global language, world language. There has been a strongly felt need to achieve mastery in the language. Nowadays, mastery in English is very necessary for the global communication. Approximately, means nearly 3% of people of the Indian population speaks English. This 3% includes individuals who lead India's economic, industrial, professional, social, and political life. Though English is a second language for this population, it is the common language or link language or lingua franca for the diverse populations of India, each of whose mother tongue is different. English is often, therefore, the language of discussions and interactions. India is among the top 4 countries with highest number of English speakers in the world. Now here English is spoken and studied as a foreign language in India. Now here approximately nearly 3% of Indian population here speaks English, and these people are related with economic, industrial, professional, social, political fields or educational field. Though English is the second language, now it is essential, it became the link language, lingua franca or common link language in India, because in India there are various types of states and their mother tongues are different, and here English became the link language for the communication and or link language in India. And in India is here among the top 4 countries with highest number of English speakers in the world. The historical, economic and social considerations have contributed to the contributed to the creation of an Indian variety of English. Examples of distinctive features are here. Now, even in India, different English is spoken in different states. Pronunciations are different, vocabulary is different, accents are different. For example, Indian English tends to have a reduced vowel system. For example, paint, P-A-I-N-T, we pronounce it as paint, paint, not paint. Actually, the standard pronunciation API or RP of paint is paint, paint, AE. We say A, in spite of AE, we pronounce it as paint. Actually, its standard pronunciation, RP pronunciation is paint, 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 but we say paint, A. The consonants p, t, k do not gain aspiration when in initial position of an accented syllable. Means here when these are the letters P, T, P, T, and K. But P is pronounced as P, as in pen. Though spelling is P-E-N, but we pronounce it P-A-N, pen. That's why P is here pronounced as P. T, for example, table, T-A-B-L-E. T is a spelling or letter, but it is pronounced T, table. It's T. Kite, K-I-T-E. We spell it as K-I-T-E. But when we pronounce kite, K becomes K. Okay, kite. K. That's why P, T, K, in spite of this, these letters are pronounced, they sound like K. They do not gain accent. Aspiration means accent or stress when they appear in the beginning position of the accented syllable of the word. Often v and w means v and v. They sound like v and v are not distinguished in Indian English. There is a confusion between some consonants like p and f and different types of s. P means p, f means F means f, S means s. Compound words are frequently formed in Indian English. For example, chalk piece, key bunch, pin drop, silence. These phrases or compound words are created only in India. They are used in Indian English. Indian English pluralizes many mass nouns. For example, people is mass noun, equipment is also plural. They themselves are plural. People itself is plural, equipment is itself is plural. But in Indian English, we pluralize them by adding s. Peoples, in spite of saying people, we say peoples, equipments. It is a Indian variety of spelling. There is also a tendency to add plural markers of English to the words of Indian origin. For example, rotis, roti means bread in India. In Indian language, we always say roti. But here, the tendency of plural, adding plural marker as written even in Indian in English. Rotis, we say, we add s as a plural marker to roti. English suffixes are added to Indian words. For example, IC, as in Upanishadik. Upanishad and IC suffix is added to Upanishadik. Then Kuli word is there. Kulidam, just like king, kingdom. Here we in India add Kulidam. Ism, for example, ISM. These are suffixes IC, dum, DOM, ISM. They are suffixes. They are added after the stem word. For example, Kuli is stem word, dum is suffix. Upanishad is a base word or stem word, and IC is added, it is suffix. Now, ism is Gunda. Gundaism. ISM is added to Gunda. Now these are the variation of Indian words. They are Indian words, you can say, Indian English. Constructions like you have done this before. No. It is a habit of Indian people adding no after the statement to get agreement. In spite of question tag, we use only no. This use of no as a question tag is typical Indian usage. No, we say, are you coming? No. In this way, it is our habit to add no as a question tag. In addition, Indian English differs considerably in the differences in the stress pattern in most words. For example, table, table. There is a mark before the t or t. It is the mark of the stress on the second syllable rather than the first. Actually, we should give accent or we give stress on suitable. But here in Indian English we say suitable in spite of suitable. We pronounce it as suitable. Just like philosophy. Philosophy, la should be their second syllable, but we give stress on third syllable. Philosophy, philosophy, philosophy. So we give stress or accent stress on a third syllable. Now we'll study syllable in detail in phonology. Su, first syllable, te, second syllable, and bal is third syllable. In this way, there are many syllables in the word. There is also a tendency to elide one or more syllables. For example, botany rather than botany means here botany, tendency to elide one or more syllables. Here, actual pronunciation is botany, botany. This is standard pronunciation, RP pronunciation, IP, botany. But we pronounce botany for botany. Means Indian English pronunciation is botany, botany. But RP or standard pronunciation is botany, botany. But we Indian pronounce in Indian English as botany, botany. In this way, here even the spelling, accent, Indian English differs from the British English. Now, youngsters in India sometimes create acronyms and abbreviation from English words. Some of these are used in day-to-day speech of the young Indians or students in many cases. For example, subsi, the full form is subsidiary, but many students or Indian English speakers use subsi. Supply is for supply abbreviation is used for supplementary. Supply. Gen Sec, actually Gen means general, Sec means secretary. We make short form or abbreviation of general secretary as Gen Sec, supplementary as supply, subsidiary subsi, laboratory assistant lab S, assistant warden as wardy. In this way, we have our own variation. We make our abbreviation, we make our own accents or pronunciation. Within Indian English, there are several subcategories given the regional and linguistic diversity in India. Some of these are Babu English, Malayali English, Tamilian English, Punjabi English, Hindi, and English created a mixed language which is termed as Hinglish. In many cases, Hinglish means Hindi plus English. It is called Hinglish. Sometimes English, English words are mixed with Hindi words. Okay, many people of the world use English as a link language or lingua franca. The spread of English created new kinds of varieties in many countries. Just like in India, we have created our own variety. In India, there are different types of English spoken. In Babu English means it is spoken in office. Then Malayali English, Tamilian people speak different English. Punjabi people speak different English. And here, in this way, English is also used. Hindi plus English, English words are used. Now, overall, we will say that nowadays English is a global language. It is must in India, and Indian people accepted 3% of Indian people can speak English, understanding English, speak English very well. Even for example, in some states, before station E is added, E station, in spite of speaking station, E station. stand, stand. In this way, there are varieties of English spoken in India. Thank you very much.